Hello everybody, my name is Louis. This is Dearstream English. Today, I want to teach you 10 expressions you can use in a business environment. The first one is a tough break. A tough break means that something unfortunate happens. When something bad happens, you can say, it was a tough break. For example, it was a tough break for us when Caroline quit. She was one of our best employees. Another example, it was a tough break when the coronavirus hit. It really hurt our business. The next one is ahead of the curve. To be ahead of the curve means to be more advanced than the competition. We're investing a lot of money in research and development so we can stay ahead of the curve. Another example, the company Apple was ahead of the curve in technological development. So this means a company is more advanced than the competition. Number 3 is ahead of the pack. This is really similar to ahead of the curve. Ahead of the pack means to be better or more successful than the competition. While ahead of the curve meant to be more advanced than the competition, ahead of the pack means to be better or more successful than the competition. Here's an example. If we want to stay ahead of the pack, we're going to have to work hard and continue to innovate. I could say, another example, wow, that restaurant is really ahead of the pack. Their food is much more delicious. Number 4, at stake. This means that there is a risk. We usually say something is at stake, or there's a lot at stake. For example, I'm a little nervous about giving this presentation because there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of risk. There's a lot at stake. Okay, next one. Back to square one. To go back to square one means to start something over again. Okay, so here's an example. I was making a video, but I made a mistake, so I went back to square one. I went back to square one. I started again. Here's another example. It's a little bit longer. Our programmers identified what they thought the problem was with the software. After working for several hours, it turns out that the problem is something different. We're back to square one. We're back to square one. We got to start over. Okay. Next one is back to the drawing board. Excuse me. To go back to the drawing board means to start something over and go back to the planning stage. It's kind of like back to square one, but the drawing board, you can think of like a whiteboard where the company is making a plan. So to go back to the drawing board means to go back to the planning stage. So I could say the prototype was not successful. We have to go back to the drawing board. Another example is this. That idea is not very good. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's think of a new idea. Okay, next one is a backroom deal. A backroom deal is an agreement or decision that is made without the public knowing about it. I can say, my company hired me in a backroom deal. It wasn't really an official hiring, It was made without the public knowing. Another example, I think they got the government contract because of a backroom deal. So sometimes politicians will make a backroom deal. They'll do some sort of deal that the public doesn't know about. Okay, number 8, ballpark number or ballpark figure. So this is an approximate estimate. It's an inexact estimate. Kind of means approximately or roughly. Here's an example. I know you don't know the exact price, but can you offer me a ballpark number? Here's another example. I'm not sure what a Super Bowl commercial costs, but to give you a ballpark figure, I'd say about $3 million. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, number 9, behind the scenes. This is when something happens in secret or not in front of the general public. It is kind of like a backroom deal, but behind the scenes is not necessarily a deal, it's just something that happened secretly. Here's an example. They make it look so effortless, but they do a lot of hard work and planning behind the scenes. Here's another example. Although she was not well known to the public, she helped the company a lot behind the scenes. And the last one, big picture. Everything that is involved with a particular situation is called the big picture. You can think of this as like everything, the overall image. Here's an example. Even though we all have very specific tasks to do, our manager makes sure we don't lose sight of the big picture. And I could also say, when I am feeling down, I try to keep my mind on the big picture and